as we're getting ready for our reaction review of UFC 257, Krieger's decided to hide half his face. Hello everyone, this is MykeCheck'd here, along with Krieger Margin 1, my partner in crime. And we are here to give our thoughts and reactions to, as we said, to UFC 257.
Yeah! So, it was an interesting night. We chose not to do the live streaming this time, just to do a reactionary video.
We were tired.
Tired, pretty much. So, but regardless, we'll still cover everything on the show.
But before we get into it, be sure to like and subscribe. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and check us out on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Now, let us get rolling with this event that we watched 2 days ago.
So, Michael did not see all of the fights.
Or not.
Blame
work.
He pretty much missed the early prelims and the prelims and one of the main card fights. So he got most of it. There are some sleeper fights down here that were pretty good. So the first one was Albazi versus a name I can't pronounce. I'm going to say Zalagos. How do we call that?
We both said Zalagos, that we're going to win that fight.
Okay, so Albazi won that one by unanimous decision. I really enjoyed that fight because they went back and forth. It kind of just looked like Zalagos got tired out. For this one, it was a slow fight. It was definitely slow, but it was one of the ones where like one guy was clearly dominating. Like it went back and like early domination. Like Zalagos got round 1 and then round 2 and 3. That's why Albazi came back in with it. And Albazi was just way more technical. For the second one, Mozavar versus Nick Lentz. Nick Lentz is like, I think he holds the record for the most guillotines in one fight. Or in total being held, because he literally, that's all he did. I'm really surprised he didn't tap off Mozavar. Like, his head was purple at one point, and you're just like, okay, when's this guy going to give up? And he kept popping his head out. So that was really good.
From what you showed me, it was actually really good.
How do we call it?
We both said it was going to be Mozavar winning the fight.
Sweet, and that's how it happened via split decision. And this one, I didn't really know who won. I felt like Nick Lentz was really on top most of the fight. But they scored it 29-28, 29-28, 28-29. So that was kind of controversial.
Probably based off striking.
Yeah. And the fact that he was able to get out. But Lentz just had so much. He had like 4 minutes of controlled ground time on that fight. Alright, so that was the early prelims, that if you watched it on ESPN Plus. But if you wanted to pay money for $60 or pirate it, pirating's bad.
Yes, it is. Don't let Dana White come knocking on your door.
So starting off the prelims, we have, this is the one that was a weird one. This was Marcin versus Roundtree.
Oh yeah, you were...
Went the distance. Roundtree kicked his ass, I felt. I didn't really see Marcin do as much, but they gave him a split unanimous decision, 29-28 over Roundtree. And Roundtree was one of my more favorites. I was looking at one of his highlights, and literally when a guy was knocked on the ground on his hands and knees, he just soccer kicked him in the ribs and knocked him out. like he is strong. But he lost that. How do we call it?
We both said Roundtree on that one.
This next one wasn't, if you like ground game, it was a good one, but if you don't like ground game, it was a boring fight. This was Pena versus McMahon. So, and actually what was interesting is that Dana called Fight of the Night 3 different fights.
Yeah.
And Pena was one of them versus McMahon. This one was a ground one via submission on the 3rd round. It was really boring for me. I didn't like it at all. I almost fell asleep at one point in the fight. So, but it was a 3rd round submission, Pena winning.
So it was a lot of ground game in wrestling?
Brad Tavares versus Antonio Carlos Jr. The unanimous decision. Okay, so Carlos Jr. has been out for like 2 years due to injuries and not being able to compete. And he looked really sloppy in there, and he just did look like he wanted to be there, and he did not have a good form at all. But Antonio couldn't finish. I mean, not Antonio. Brad couldn't finish the fight. Like, he couldn't knock him out. So, I mean, two of the judges called it 30-27. That's how bad it was. Because usually you're supposed to do 10-9 for the loser, 10-8 if they're losing really bad, and then and then 10-7 if it's awful. So they said 3 rounds. It was 2 of the judges gave it a 10-7, and that's the one where they punch each other in the dick one round.
Oh
punch
yeah,
the other guy
that kind of makes sense now how sloppy it was. We both said Carlos Jr. in that one. I don't know why. After you saying that.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. If I see Carlos Jr. in the future, I will never vote for him again because he's awful. The last one of the prelims, this was the main event of the prelims.
Armand versus Friola.
Yep. This one also was not close at all, but he just couldn't finish him. So, same kind of result. I wasn't too excited about this one.
That was, we both said Armand or Tazaryu.
That's good because he won in a tremendous fashion because one of the judges actually gave him 30-26. That's how bad.
Oh, man.
And 2 of the calls on the early prelims and the prelims I felt like was not I don't agree with.
The Roundtree fight for one.
Yeah, and then the other one was the Nick Lentz and Mozabar. I would give that to Nick Lentz. This is the last one that you missed, which was Makhamed Murdoff versus Andrew Sanchez, 3rd round TKO.
Yeah, this is the fight I came in. I saw that fight. Yeah.
Oh, you did?
I saw that one. I missed the Rebus fight, but I saw that Andrew fight. So they did the Rebus fight first, and then the Andrew fight. Oh yeah, like this was the one where I was kind of like, this is one I didn't really know much about the fighters and everything, but when I saw the fighter who I picked for looked like a complete trailer trash kind of dude, not dogging on his fighting ability because he's still brand new, I was like, I picked the wrong guy. And then how sloppy he was, I was like, yeah, I picked the wrong dude. So yeah, it was Muradov that won that fight.
Yeah, and I remember that one. Sanchez just wasn't going for what he needed. He was down in the 3rd round and he was trying to grapple. And his stance was so wide and awkward and he didn't seem technical at all.
He was the one where like he got socked right in the face and he literally just went.
Yeah, so that was pretty funny. Rodriguez versus Amanda Ribes.
Yeah, this is the fight that I missed. That was the one where they thought they called the fight, but he didn't.
Oh, yeah, that's that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a good fight. Women's fights are normally a little bit more brutal, and then if you guys go back and watch it, the ref got really close, and he looked like he was going to call, like his hands were like this, and he was about to pounce down, so the lady got off, and you literally grabbed her ankle, get up, turn around, and then beat the shit out of her again. And that's a good mentality, because a lot of people would have just been like arguing with the ref or something in a classic WWE moment and hit from behind or some shit. So that was interesting, and I believe Fight of the Night went to her as well, just because of that effort of hustle and getting back into it.
Then we had Calderwood and
Jessica.
Evil Eye.
Yeah, so Evil Eye was really interesting. Calderwood and I was interesting because going into it, I was like, okay, Calderwood's going to get her ass kicked. She's really timid, and she doesn't really look like she knows what she's doing. But she was fucking aggressive. She was technical. She was landing way better shots than I. I was coming off of injuries and some kind of health thing she wouldn't talk about, which is weird. But she is getting older, I believe, by the looks of it. So, you know.
It was still a good, interesting fight. For sure. 2
of the judges gave it 30-27.
Wow, I mean, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I agree with the 3rd one that did 29-28.
Yeah.
I felt like Calderwood was fucking her up late in the game, but I don't think it was like that. So this is where it gets interesting.
Oh my lord, here we go. Here comes pretty much the 2 fights that we wanted to watch.
So Michael Chandler versus Dan Hooker. If you guys don't know who Michael Chandler is, he sounded familiar to us, so we looked him up like right before he came out. He's a 3-time champion from Bellator, and he's wanted the UFC for years. He couldn't get in, and he finally got a contract, and this was his debut. He came out, and Dan Hooker kind of froze up on him and got TKO'd in the 1st round.
Yeah, like I really thought Dan Hooker may have gotten him in the bag because like I didn't realize how small Michael Chandler was until I compared him to Dan Hooker, and I was like, Dan Hooker is like an orangutan right now. But at the same time, wrestling Michael Chandler was like,
he's a beast.
He's explosive.
So there's a promo he did after the bell rang in his post-fight interview, and he talked about this because Joe Rogan compared him to Ric Flair.
Mm-hmm.
He's the guy coming over from WCW that always wanted to be there, but he's never there. So he decides to cut a Ric Flair promo. He kind of botches it very bad, but he's just doing it because it's a good story. Which he went out and said he did the promo, he did a backflip, and right before that, which Dana White said he really didn't like the backflip because he's going to end up breaking his leg or some shit doing it like that.
Okay, yeah.
And then he called everyone out in the division, including Khabib, Conor, like, that took some balls. I don't know if I want to see I want Chandler to fight next, because I definitely don't think he deserves to go for the championship.
Not right away, no.
Especially with the way that everything's going. But, I mean, I'd be cool if Poirier fight against him, just to have him get destroyed by Poirier.
You don't think that?
Well, depending on what happened in this main event here.
Yo, yeah.
All right, so Dustin Poirier versus Conor McGregor. Huge fight. Conor's come back. It's at 155. One thing we also need to think about is this was early in the morning, because it was in Abu Dhabi. So it was the whole pay-per-view was about 9 a.m.
Yeah.
We see him come out. Conor McGregor has a really over-the-top entrance, and then as soon as we go out the gate, Conor has a really good first round, surviving. You see Poirier trying to not do stand-up and more focus on the technicalities, which is smart. You see him poke a couple leg kicks, and then you notice on the second round, he fucks Conor's legs up with some serious calf kicks where, like Conor said, there's a football-sized injury on his leg after the leg kicks. And if you've ever taken a leg kick before, one of them will numb your foot out and you can't put weight on it. And he took 11 leg kicks from Poirier.
Yeah, God, it's just that whole fight kind of really caught me off guard, and I even looked over at you and you were just like,
I didn't think Conor was going to lose that because he destroyed Poirier in the first one, but Poirier's he's developed a lot. And he's gotten a lot better. So that was interesting. Going into the fight, I thought Conor was going to win, but as I saw the entrance and him coming down, I was just like, I'm really nervous for this guy. Yeah. I don't know if he can beat. I don't know if he's got the. And Dana brought up the same point. We don't really know if he has the same hunger anymore. He has millions of dollars, and he's making more money than anybody else.
Pretty much.
And so he says that he wants to have this drive, be active again, do more fights. He's not retiring. He wants to be more active, but like he doesn't have that hunger to destroy people anymore. Like he's putting food on the table. He has food on the table, and he has a million fucking freezers full of food in the garage. Like he's fine. So, but it's interesting to see. Some people could say this was the downfall of Conor McGregor, or the beginning of it. Yeah. Some people could say that sometimes you got to lose. It happens. You can't always win. So it's interesting to see what he takes from here.
All I know is that all the reactions that I seen from what my friends were saying about it, they were like, "What? No way! No, no!" And I'm just like, it is what it is.
Conor's got holes in his game that he needs to work on.
Yeah.
One big thing that he did is he abandoned his old camp, went with a brand new camp, and stuck with them, and mainly focused on stand-up. He didn't focus on ground game at all.
Yeah, that was something, if you heard, that was something Khabib pointed out in a quick interview, pretty much saying that he shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, and on to the Khabib thing.
Oh boy, Khabib is a mess right now. He's a good fighter, but he's a mess.
Dana is still trying to get him to come back. And he told Dana, he said, look at these guys. I'm just a level above them. If I came back, I would destroy everyone. It's not even fair. So I think Khabib needs to retire. They need to stop holding up the championship.
Somebody said that like if they want to keep him fighting, just tell him to like up his weight class. But at the same time, it's like Khabib doesn't want to do it anymore.
He doesn't want to do it because he made a promise to his mom after their dad died that he would quit. And if anybody has paid attention to Khabib and McGregor's rivalry, you don't fuck with Khabib's family. No. He takes it personally. So, no, he's not coming back. I don't see it happening. The only reason somebody would do something like that is with money. And they're going to have to offer Khabib enough money to override his morals and a promise he made to his parents. So I don't see it happening. And, he'd have to have somebody he really cares about. And Dana, he said he wants it to be against McGregor He thinks that after last night it'd be he said it'd be the biggest fight of all time.
I think it would just cause more problems. We'd have literally the post-fight part 2 happen again. And then again, I don't know, man. It seemed like McGregor kind of humbled out in that fight with Poirier.
Yeah, but he likes Poirier.
Yeah.
It's a little different with Khabib. Khabib had his guys come in and jump him from behind. There's no, oh yeah, that's fine now.
I don't think it's a good idea. I really think Khabib should just... Bye-bye.
I think Conor's in trouble. I'm really nervous for Conor. Because I like Conor. He's so good, but he's also so bad. I think he might be one of the most overrated UFC fighters we've ever had. Because there's so many holes in this game. He's one of the best on his stand-up. But when it comes to ground game and clinch work and all that, he's been struggling. And he needs to work. I mean, if he just worked on those things, he'd be really good. But
yeah.
In my opinion, he's overrated right now.
Oh, man.
Fuckers.
That is all the time we have for our UFC 257 review.
Oh, wait. We have to do our fights of the night and fight of the night.
Oh, okay.
Chandler. I'm giving it to Chandler for fight of the night.
I was gonna say the same thing, but I only saw 4 fights.
Well,
Dustin Poirier was a close second, but Chandler's explosive debut was just kind of like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and it was the ending to the Conor fight was a little unsatisfying compared to the other one where it's just like the fucking ending is great and then the after interview is even better. So if I was to give out the $50,000 bonus to anybody, I would be giving it to Michael Chandler.
Yeah.
So,
but
as Michael was saying, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like all of the things that we do.
We will come in with our next prediction video as soon as we find out when the next show comes out, and then there'll be more UFC action. Hopefully, we can get these videos up and going a little bit quicker because sometimes Krieger doesn't like to record videos. He likes to sit there and play video games all day. But
I'm training.
But this is MykeCheck'd 95.
And Krieger Margin 1.
Signing out. Yeah.